All right, so we give praise, esteem, and honor to the Most High Yahuah by way of His only Son, Yahuah HaMashiach. First and foremost, we want to give thanks to Yahuah for the feast, for His word, and for the opportunity to know it. Now, we done went through a lot of things through these last few days. Of course, last night, we talked about the fact that how the righteous lips are a delight to the King, and those that love what's right, He loves. Now, we're going to pivot a little bit and still stay in that same situation and concept. Pretty much the theme of the whole week is this, that you have to know the difference between Yahuah and the adversary, and you're going to have to pick a side. And if you love the word, then your side is already chosen. And if you love the word, then you're going to push rebellion out of your heart. So therefore, there will be no chaos and confusion in your mind. But as long as you dwell in the tents of pride, you will have confusion, you will have disorder, and you will have death. See, before we proceed, I'll share this with you. Because a brother was like this here. He was like, if you're watching porn and masturbating, repent or die. And this is an example of rebellion and confusion. This is why I mentioned on something very, very small. Because a woman got on there and say, brothers masturbate so they can avoid fornication. I'm like, man, if you have to beat your meat to avoid fornication, you have bigger problems. Much, much bigger. So I want to like this here, right? I want to see where your judgment at. Now, it's nowhere in the text that say you can't masturbate, right? Does it say don't beat your meat? Does it say don't play with your vagina? Does it say that? But who can know what you would tell somebody to say that is an error? You ought not to do that. It's very easy. I can think about 6. You very well could be lusted. But see, this is the thing, right? This is what I got trying to get y'all to be able to understand and be able to impart. If somebody is coming to you saying, ain't nothing wrong with me molesting myself, you have to be able to give clear, concise counsel. Now, I'm going to tell you, this rotten slut going to sit back and say, because you a slut, because she married. So it's easy to tell somebody, oh, go ahead and beat your meat when you got a man laying next to you every night. You controlling your desires is not an issue for you. But for somebody who's not married, you're supposed to be teaching him self-control. Who can think of anything in the text? I don't care if it's old and sin. See, baby, that's not what that's talking about. Who remembers what that's talking about when he say where there is no law, there is no sin? No, he just said it. When there was no law, meaning when they was in the garden, there was no law. So therefore, there was no sin. The minute they learned the law, then you have the knowledge of sin. See, that's bad teaching when you tell people, if it ain't in the law, it ain't no sin. That's how you set somebody up who's going to go to hell for molesting yourself. Well, the first thing he mentioned was lusting. Because if you eat your meat, there's something that you're doing. You're desiring someone, 9 times out of 10, who belongs to someone else. Then on top of that, you're committing lasciviousness, which is a work of the flesh. So now you're working works of the flesh. He say those that work the works of the flesh, they will not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. Then he say those that are of the flesh cannot keep the Torah of Elohim, because the flesh and the Torah have hatred to one another, and anyone who was in the flesh is not subject to the Torah of Elohim. But then if you want to take it to the Torah, he said all that do unrighteously is an abomination. And you can take that to 2 Timothy chapter 3. He say, teach what becomes sound doctrine. So who would stand in the street and say it's healthy for you to masturbate so you can avoid fornication? So instead, I don't want to have sex, so I'm gonna put on this porno. I'm probably gay because I'm watching another nigga slide up in another woman, and that gets it going for me. You know what I'm saying? Because is you looking at the woman or you looking at that dude? There's a grown man with his penis out, and you watching it. You know what I'm saying? You don't look at it like that when you were younger, when you were looking at it, but at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. Because would you stand in a room with a man butt naked slaying another chick? So it makes it better because it's on the TV screen? And you sitting there with your meat out with lotion playing with yourself. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Now the brother, you know what's funny? Rebel and judgment. See, baby teacher rebellion. Dude on there talking about, what about blue balls? Well, if you get to the point of blue balls, you done arouse yourself repeatedly to the point that you shouldn't even put yourself in that position. You mean to tell me you sit in that house with blue balls? You need to kill yourself? Now you're blind. You know what I'm talking about? Blue balls is you've maintained an erection for too long a period of a time without ejaculating. You know what I'm saying? And it's very, very rare for somebody to get blue balls. Very, very rare. Very, very rare that somebody gets in that position. That basically, usually when that situation happens, that comes from a woman who's been teasing you, and you done got sexually excited without a payoff. Proverbs 16, man.
No, that's fine.
Then it also tell you if a man don't have no help. So not if you can't even control yourself, God only knows what else gonna jump up in you. Literally. You know what I'm saying? You sitting at the house every day. I told you, man, it's a Hebrew congregation that teach you can do that as long as you go take a shower afterwards. You were straight. Go ahead and rape yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead and rape yourself, molest yourself. I watch a lot of niggas riding around here blind and they ambidextrous. Some niggas ambidextrous. That junk can't come from practice. Some boys would do it now. Proverbs chapter 6. It says the preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from Yahuah. Now, Paul, I'm just gonna grab something real quick like for that. I want you to come over here to Luke chapter 24 and then Acts chapter 7. So he says the preparation of the heart and the answer of the tongue is from Yahuah. Before we proceed, and I want you to look at preparation. That word is marak, and that is your arrangement, your plan, or your preparation, or your mental disposition. So these are the thoughts that you collect in your mind. Now, answer is maneh, and that is your response. Hey, boy, I need you to chill. It's Luke 21, that's my correction. Luke 21 and 21 and 5, if you regardless of what you arrange in your mind, it's Yahuah that give you the thought and the word that come out your mouth. Again, this is talking about righteous lips or a delight to a king. See, a lot of people can't prepare their mouth to say the things that are correct because they don't belong to the king and they're not a delight. And see, that's gonna lead to something later on down the line. I was talking to my homeboy earlier today, and he mentioned something they discussed, and when he mentioned it, about 15 different things popped in my head as soon as he said it. And it's along the lines of what we've been looking at all week, so we're gonna have to do it. But nevertheless, 21 and 5, Book of Luke says, and some of them, and as some of spake of the temple, how was ordained with goodly stones and gifts, he said. As for these things which you behold, the days will come in which there shall not be left one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. He said, take heed that you be not deceived. Now I'm going to read it to you again because it's important. Ain't we been talking about that this week too? You think we've been looking at all these stuff and mentioning some of these deities? Like, I didn't even get to the Greek hero code. But I'm going to just mention it briefly to you right now. You can look it up for yourself because I have been looking into it some this week, right? After I heard the brother mention it. The Greek hero, y'all know who Achilles is, right? Y'all ever heard of Achilles? You know what I'm saying? That's literally what your Achilles tendon is named after. He is somebody who would be a Greek hero code. I believe Hercules is as well, but I could be mistaken. But that is somebody who died at a young age or had an unusual death. Matter of fact, I'll read it to you. I think I still got it. Well, that can go, Cam. This is what it says, right? I think I mentioned that there. Somebody who died because of fame during life or has an unusual manner of death, and he got power to support and protect the living. They was more than human, but less than a god. A supernatural figure, and people would go to their grave and worship them. Now, it was funny because I think we had talked about this before. Y'all know what a libation is? Huh? Yeah, that's a drink, or that's a drink. Oh, well, we would call it in Texas the drink offering. It was funny because in these Greek hero cults, they would pour out liquor for somebody who would die. And it's funny that that same concept is done now. And you have to wonder, where did black people get that from? Because I don't think you brought that over here with you. You had to learn that from participating in some pagan rite, and then some liquor for the dead. You don't see white people pouring out alcohol for the dead. You know what I'm saying? See, black people have all manner of things that they do for the dead, which are really blasphemous to Yahuah. Now, when you take into account, you know, okay, it's been 1 year since Nipsey Hussle died, Kobe just died. Those are examples of somebody who would be put in the pantheon of hero cult because they're deified upon the death. This is only important when I mention it because of the beast. Because we're not the beast died in an unusual fashion. But the key component with the beast is he'll be resurrected. Who can make war with him? Which would mean that in their eyesight, especially with the concept of the hero cult doctrine that may very well be taught during that time of human existence, that people will literally see him as a god because they would see someone of great, and then he would be elevated to this point. Because after dying and living, what does this man do? He say he God. All of these things, whether it's the Greek hero cult, whether it's some of the deities that we mentioned, doesn't make any difference. All of them pertain to one thing and one thing alone, and that is the mystery of iniquity. The hidden thing of lawlessness. At the end of the day, that stuff we were talking about the crown chakra with the mother goddess and whatever one, that's third chakra in the middle and all that stuff, and the tree of life and the lotus flowers. At the end of the day, all that stuff points back to one person, and that's the adversary who seeks to be worshipped and honored as Yahuah. And he will go about whatever means that he has to go about in tricking you in order for you to believe that this is the correct thing to do. Now, you can sit around and you can neglect the gospel and not lay the word up in your heart, and you will be deceived. Look at the thing that the Lord told you. He told you to do what? Take heed. If he's telling you to take heed, he's telling you to shamar, listen and obey. Because if you do not, you will be deceived. Because I'm telling you, according to this word, after the fact, I'm going to run this back to see who remembers. Who remembers what we read in Daniel chapter 8? What that daily sacrifice actually translated to in Hebrew when it said he'll take away the daily sacrifice. That's what it said in English, but that ain't what it said in Hebrew. Who recalls what it says in Hebrew? And extra bonus points if you could tell me the two words that were there. Say what? No. When it said daily sacrifice, that he will take away the daily sacrifice, it does not translate to daily sacrifice. See, Paul, because I don't want you to look it up. I want you to recall, remember. Because a lot of brews expect that third temple to be rebuilt, and what do they expect to happen in it? The sacrifices will begin. And Daniel 8 is usually what they use to justify that statement, and understandably so when you read it in English. But in Hebrew, it does not say that. Who recalls what it says? Anybody going once? Going twice? It says Tamed Pashah. So what does that say? Continual, perpetual rebellion and transgression. That's what it says. Continual, perpetual rebellion. Now, the first day of the feast, what did we talk about? What did Satan teach Eve in the garden? What did he teach her in the garden? To rebel. You understand? What was Korah them trying to teach in the wilderness? To rebel. What did the scribes and Pharisees try to get the people to do? Rebel. What is the beast coming to do? to teach you to rebel. What did he say that he would make intelligence with? In Daniel 11, he said he would make intelligence or teach. What people did he say he would teach? Who recalls what people he said? Sit down. Tuck your lip in. Ain't nothing to cry about. Your haircut fresh. You alive. You finna eat. What you took your lip out for? This ain't Mordecai talking playtime, son. Hey, and y'all over there talking too much. You ain't got nothing to talk about. Who recalls who he said he would make intelligence with?
The people that serve y'all.
No, he said he would make intelligence with people who would forsake the Kadash covenant or rebels. This is who he's going to make a covenant with. Rebels. Everybody, and this is why that the righteous lips are delight to a king and those that love the words that are right. Because you do not rebel. At the end of the day, when it comes down to the end time, it's going to come down to who obeys and who rebels. What does it say in Malachi 3? And he shall return and discern between those that obey Yahuah and those that obey not. When you look at that parable of the sower, he said the seed, that evil seed, was sown by the wicked one. All that boiled down to is those who rebel and those who do not. Because at the end of the day, it's just as simple as that. Those who obey and those who rebel. And you know why people rebel? Pride. That's why you don't submit. That's why most women in this world don't submit to their man. Pride. That's why most men don't submit to their fathers, don't submit to older men, don't submit to their God. Pride. Pride is the most destructive character trait that an individual can possess, because it will lead to your destruction. Because y'all know what the book of Proverbs say, before pride comes before destruction. Before a great fall, your pride gonna get you in the way. Because when somebody trying to hustle you, you're gonna refuse to listen. And you're gonna bust yourself upside the head, and it's gonna be your fault. You ain't gonna have nobody. And I was listening to this Navy SEAL dude last night, man, and he said something real. You know the biggest two things that have been removed, or one of the biggest things that's been removed from America and added in, the biggest thing that's been removed is personal responsibility and accountability. It does not exist. And you have a perpetual state of victimhood. That's why that doesn't allow you to take control of your life. You know, if you know it's something that you're supposed to do, screw if you don't want to do it. Get your stinking behind up and go do it. You know what's probably going to happen? You're going to probably feel better for yourself because you got up and did it. When you do things that are difficult, it makes you feel better about yourself because now you know that you can accomplish it. And guess what you'll probably do the next day? You'll probably do it again. And you'll probably do it again. But when somebody tells you, oh, it doesn't matter, it's case in point. You know the biggest part of personal accountability and responsibility that don't exist in this country is your health. You can see that right now with what's going on. You know you shouldn't eat this type of food. You put it in your mouth anyway. You know you're unhealthy. You know you're out of shape, and you won't get your behind up and go get your body right. Then when you get sick, you want somebody to feel sorry for you when you could have prevented that. You know what I'm saying? But then, and that's what happens with the word. That's what we're dealing with. We're referring to that lady. Oh, that's what brothers do to not fornicate. That's a lack of personal responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So now you want him to be a victim because he don't have a wife. So since you don't have a wife, go and beat your meat. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. See, you victim. Let's put it this way, right? You know America oppressed you. You already know that. But if you serve your God, what does that matter? Are you going to sit around complaining? We were talking about this other. You know one of the biggest reasons why I ain't never want to work for nobody? Because I didn't want to be the nigga sitting back talking about the white man won't give me this and the white man won't give me that. If I know these people don't like me, why would I go beg them for a job? And why would I sit around and complain about what they're not going to give me when I can take my life in my own hands and do it for myself? Why would I wait on somebody I know who despises me to look out for me? That makes absolutely no sense. I'm not going to sit around and play no victim. Talking about what a white man ain't going to let me. See, I don't even like niggas who talk like that. You can get from around me. You know, I don't want to hear that. Because at the end of the day, you a man. And your life is in your own hands. Can't nobody do nothing to you. Can't nobody stop you from doing that. You stopping yourself because you playing the victim. And see, you gotta watch niggas who want you to play the victim all the time. Cause them whole niggas, them beta male niggas, them niggas they'll be simping all the time. Want to beg Mr. Charlie for this and beg Mr. Charlie for that. You know what I'm saying? When you can just get up and do it yourself. It might take a little longer, but you'll be responsible and accountable for your own life. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of they took accountability and responsibility for their own life. And he had numbered them people. When Yahuah gave him 3 options, what option did he choose? Huh? What option did he choose? He said, let me fall into the hand of Yahuah rather than man. See, that's personal accountability and responsibility. I would rather have the controller of the controlling than allow my life to be controlled by another man. Because I know Yahuah merciful. See, the point was that, yeah, David was wrong for numbering the people, but my point was he didn't want to fall into the hand of a man and let a man have control over him, because he gave him that option. Because he says you can have the sword fall on you. He said, let me fall into the hand of Yahuah. Now, even in the point of something where he sit back and he did something incorrect, that's the mindset you're supposed to have. Let my life be controlled by Yahuah and not another man. And that's bigger than talking about owning the business. That ain't what I'm talking about. Let your life be controlled by Yahuah instead of a man. Meaning, don't let no man have no control to dictate what you think, what you say, where you go, how you feel, how you react. At that point, you're not operating as a man. Nevertheless, Luke 21:8, yet one more time. And he said, take heed that you be not deceived. For many shall come in my name saying, I am Mashiach, and the time draw near. Go you not before after them. Look at what he tell you. He said, the time near. What did he tell you not to do? Don't follow them. But when you shall hear wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. And he said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines, pestilence, fearful sights, great signs shall there be in heaven, from heaven, excuse me. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and in the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate before what you shall say. For I will give you a mouth and a wisdom which your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. So he said the preparations of the heart and the answer of the tongue are from Yahuah. He told you, don't arrange what you're going to say. I appreciate that, Tony. Because that's what it was, the fall part. He said it's a hardy spirit before a fall. You know? Now, when we look at this here, right, let's come over to the book of Acts, because that was the other place I was going. Acts chapter 6. Six and 8. Now, I'm trying to think what I did. Yeah, 6 and 8. So, what we look at when we think about this here, about not settling in your heart, what you gonna say? Because if you have a trust of Yahuah, he'll give you what to say if you suffering for his name. Now, your example is when Yahushua was in front of the people and the people were coming at him, what did he do? He didn't say a word. Didn't need to say a word. See, you know, your natural instinct is you want to defend yourself and you want to do this, that, and the third. And you know why you do that instinctively? Because you don't have trust in he who judges righteously. So you need to prove that your judgment is correct. See, you mess around, you pull a Job, and you try to justify yourself. This is why he tell you not to settle it in your heart, to meditate what you're going to say. Because the preparation of your heart and the answer of your tongue is coming from you, and they're going to kill you anyway. Because Yahushua could have stood in front of them people and bashed them across the head with all manner of wisdom. And it wasn't nothing they was going to be able to say. Was it going to stop them from killing them? No, it was not. You know why he didn't do it? Because just like I mentioned, and that's in 1 Peter chapter 2, probably about verse 21 or 22, that he put his trust in he who judges righteously. When they threatened, he didn't threaten back. When they reviled him, he didn't revile back. You got to put the trust. Matter of fact, case in point. In the book of Exodus, right? What does the law say? He will never do what? He will never justify the righteous. Well, the wicked over the righteous. He'll never do it. That's wrong judgment. Well, of course, you know from the prophet that say that wrong judgment proceed in regards to Mashiach. So when you take on Mashiach, then you have to understand that wrong judgment will proceed. Well, why will wrong judgment proceed? Because the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And Satan has been sent down, having great wrath, knowing he had but a little time. So you can't get caught up. I'm right. Why is this happening to me? That's pride. That's pride. Because you don't care about suffering for Yahuah, suffering for Yahushua. You care about being right. You know what I'm saying? As long as Yahuah know you right, let that be a testimony against them, and they heap coals of fire on their own head. You know what I'm saying? See, that's a level of skill that most people don't want to look at and understand and conceptualize. That you ain't got to say nothing. The testimony of your faith condemns them people. But nevertheless, Acts chapter 6, verse 8, the people. Then arose a certain other synagogue, which is called the synagogue of the Libertines, and the Cyrenians and the Alexandrians, and of them of Sicilia and of Asia, disputing with Stephen. Listen what it says. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the ruach by which he spake. Ask yourself this question, right? If you got the ruach HaKodesh, right, would that mean that Yahushua, the Elohim, dwelling in you? Now, what man can resist Elohim? So if you know that the ruach is dwelling in you, then of course you're going to have a wisdom in the spirit that they can't resist. Yeah, they will dispute with you, but they can't deny what you're saying. They can't deny what you're saying. Even with a chick, oh, that was interpretation. That's all she could say. She couldn't resist what was saying, because you know what she said before that? All those are good points, and I agree. What you talking about? That's your pride. That's your pride. Ain't nothing to talk about. Let's continue. Then they suborned men, which said, we've heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against Elohim. Notice the thing that they will do, like to call in debating circles ad hominem attack. You know what I'm saying? A false attack, because they can't deal with your information. But see, you got to realize when you're dealing with the word of Yahuah, this is not an academic debate. This is the standing for righteousness of Elohim, that his goodness and his truth and his power might be proclaimed through the gospel of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let Yahuah be his name. Hey, mother, man. Let's continue. And they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes, and came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council. And they set up false witnesses. Notice what they said. Look what they did. They set up what? That's the same thing they did to Yahushua, didn't it? That's the same thing they did to the gentleman who Ahab wanted to take his land from, didn't it? That's the same thing they did to Jeremiah, didn't it? That come with the territory. That come with the territory. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Korah was a false witness against Moses. Shoot. Aaron and Miriam were false witness against Moses. It come with the territory. What did he, when Aaron and Miriam spoke against Moses, how did Yahuah describe Moses? How did he describe it? Leave that alone. How Yahuah described Moses? When they spoke against Moses, Yahuah made a statement using an adjective to describe Moses, his conduct, his character, his behavior. Say the meekest man on the face of the earth. Moses didn't say, why y'all talking about me? Why you said that? Didn't have to. Didn't have to. See, that's where the long suffering come in at. See, y'all ain't got no long suffering. As soon as somebody say something about you, you mad and you want to fight and defend yourself. See, that's your pride. See, you're only doing that because you know it's true. Because if you know you serve Yahuah and you ain't through, you care less what a nigga say about you. I don't have problems. You know what I'm saying? Why do I care? You have to really approach things in that fashion. Why do you care? Why is it important to you to clear your name? If this is something about righteousness' sake, why does it matter to you? You need to clear your name. Don't you remember when Jacob went through what he went through? He said he'll let Yahuah proclaim his righteousness, and he said that would speak for me. I don't care nothing about what this nigga doing. Let's continue. And they set up false witnesses, which said, "This man ceased not to speak blasphemous words against this Kadesh place in the Torah. For we have heard him say that Yahushua of Nazareth shall destroy this place and shall change the customs which Moses delivered." Now that goes back to what we just read in Luke, right? He said that temple would come down. That temple came down. Oh, see, but you know why they wanted to hold to that? Let me why they wanted to hold to that. Hebrews chapter 9. Let me finish the last verse. And all that sat in the council looking steadfastly on him saw his face and had been the face of an angel. Now come over to Hebrews. Now let's show why they want to hold on to that. Hebrews 9:9. Ramah. Hebrews 9:9. He said, which was a figure for the time then present, in which offer both gifts and sacrifices that cannot make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to the conscience, which stood only in meats and drinks and diverse washings and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of Reformation. But Mashiach did into the Kadash place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. You see, this is why they want to hold on to that building. Because they felt like that building, they could. The other day in Amos 5, where he said, don't think about Bethel and Gilgal. After Jeremiah 7, man, we can grab doggone Jeremiah 26. Jeremiah 7:1. I gotta crank it up a notch. Bear with me though, but I got a little time today. I ain't no short time today. Jeremiah 7:1. The word that came to Jeremiah from Yahuah saying, stand in the gate of Yahuwah's house and proclaim here this word. Hear the word of Yahuah, all ye of Yehudah, and that enter in these gates to worship Yahuah. Thus saith Yahuah of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharal, amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. Trust you not in lying words, saying, the temple of Yahuah, the temple of Yahuah, the temple of Yahuah are these. For if you thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, if you thoroughly execute judgment between man and his neighbor, if you oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after other gods to your hurt, then I will cause you to dwell in this place in the land that I gave to your fathers forever and ever. That's why you ought to sit down. Behold, you trust in lying words that cannot profit. This is why you got to know the word, because that's what's going to happen with the beast. You're going to trust in the lying words and you ain't going to profit. But guess what that stinking bastard going to do? Stand up and say, this is the temple of Yahuah right here. See, this is the temple right here. I rebuilt it. See, I'm God. I told y'all we're going to do it. Don't be no fool. Jeremiah 26. and 1, I surmise. Yeah, he coming in his own name. Oh, no, he ain't coming in the name of Yahuah. But he might invoke Yahuah's name to deceive those who follow Yahuah. You have to be prepared for any manner of deceit that he might come with. Look at what Satan invoked Yahuah's name in the garden. He didn't call him by name. He said, God said, because he knows that you'll be God's. What did he try to invoke? That it was something Yahuah didn't want you to have. Something Yahuah ain't want you to know. So you ought to listen to what I'm saying and rebel. Don't you dare put your mouth on that. What's wrong with you? You know, I thought that was fake when I seen that white dude around here licking toilets. They had some type of coronavirus challenge, and the white boy was around here licking on toilets, and then he messed around and caught coronavirus. And if a nigga thought he caught coronavirus because he was licking on toilets, it was a fool. That nigga lucky he ain't catch no syphilis, herpes, or anything else in his mouth. What type of nigga lick toilets? We need to be having a challenge, bro. You got to lick a toilet. Well, challenge denied. Challenge failed. Coronavirus is not, I ain't licking no toilet. Like, nigga, what's wrong with you? A toilet? Who does that? And he recorded himself licking the toilet. Nigga around here licking pee and boo boo. Ha ha! Call it pissy mouth. Jeremiah 26:1.
Hey, yeah.
In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, Malach of Yehudah, came this word from Yahuah, saying, thus saith Yahuah, stand you in the courts of Yahuah's house. Speak unto all the cities of Yehudah which come to worship in Yahuah's house. All the words that I command you. Speak unto them and diminish not a word, which I purpose to do unto them, because of the evil of their doings. And you shall say unto them, thus saith Yahuah, if you will not hearken to me to walk in my Torah, which I have set before you in the house of Yahuah. Now it came to pass when Jeremiah made the end of speaking all that Yahuah had commanded him to speak unto the people, the priests and the prophets and all the people took him, saying, you shall surely die. Because you know why? They trusted more in that building than they trusted in Yahuah. Same thing you seeing with Stephen. But let's look what Jeremiah told. Why have you prophesied in the name of Yahuah, saying this house shall be like Shiloh, and this city shall be desolate without an inhabitant? Were gathered against Jeremiah in the house of Yahuah. When the princes of Yehudah heard these things, they came up from the Malach's house unto the house of Yahuah and sat down in the entry of the new gate of Yahuah's house. Then spake the priests and the prophets unto the princes and to all the people, saying, this man is worthy to die. For he hath prophesied against this city, have you heard with your ears? Then spake Jeremiah unto all the princes, to all the people, saying, Yahuah sent me to prophesy against this house and against this city, all the words that you have heard. Therefore now amend your ways and your doings, and obey the voice of Yahuah your Elohim, and you will repent him of the evil that he pronounced against you. Notice the key component is, why y'all saying that about me? Yahuah told me to tell y'all this. You need to tighten up. Notice that was his key component. Now look what he tell him after that. As for me, behold, I'm in your hand. Do with me as seems good and meet unto you. He said, as for me, you got me. Do what you want to do. Ain't gonna change what I said. You know what I'm talking about? He said, but know you for certain that if you put me to death, you shall surely bring innocent blood upon yourselves, upon this city, upon the inhabitants thereof. And for a truth, you have sent me unto you to speak all these words in your ears. And you know what them people said after that? This man ain't worthy to die. Because you know what? He didn't settle it in his heart what he was going to say. The preparation of his heart and the word answer of his tongue came straight from Yahuah. That's how you got to handle it. Luke chapter 21 again, though. Praise you. Praise you. Grimmy grandma. Grimmy grandma. Where you get them raisins from? Give me them raisins. Give me them raisins. Your raisins. Proverbs 16:2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but Yahuah weigh the ruach. I'm gonna grab this word for way. But first, I'm gonna grab the word for clean. Of course, it's zah, clean, pure. You got zayin and ka. So every man has been thrust through and subdued. Let him tell it. Because what make you clean? Yahushua said you clean from the word that I've spoken unto you. He said you got to be without spot, wrinkle, and blemish. Well, what will make you clean? By purging the flesh. So everybody say, I'm clean. See, I sacrificed myself by Yahushua. But he said, but Yahuah gonna weigh that spirit though. That word for weigh is to con. It is to regulate, to measure, to estimate, to make even, to level, to weigh, to be equal. And you got Kal, Pa, and Noon. And you can tell me what you got for that. Tribulation. Not necessarily tribulation, but your suffering. He gonna try your heart. That's how you weigh that spirit. Why you got your shirt down with your brother's mouth on your nipple? You can't breastfeed him. You're not a mother. You just Malia.
Hey, you sit down.
Yeah, don't let him do you like that. I understand you want to help. Don't do that. It's okay. It's okay. You just want to help. You ain't got to look sad. You don't know no better. You looking like you want to cry. You ain't got to cry. You ain't did nothing wrong. What y'all got, Tile Koof and Noon? What do you have for that? Where you get joined from? You sure you want to join? I ain't mad at you. I ain't saying nothing. I just say you sure you want to be joined. You want to be joined together? You want to be secure? See, you in that, ooh, I'm going, ooh, we need to look at the time. I don't think it's sealed. The key thing that you want to look at is, what will you say for Ka? So that you could, the word, or you could look at it, you're either going to be tamed or subdued, because that's how you're going to be measured. Or his humility. That's how you get weighed out, because remember what we've been looking at recently, that he'll try the hearts and the reins to give to every man according to his works. So in order for him to be able to measure that ruach, you're going to have to be tamed or subdued. We'll take us back to what we looked last night. What did he say? He said that he suffered you to hunger and humbled you to see whether you would keep his instructions or not. Hold on. So when you look at this here, right, you take that subduing, you take that towel, and you can see how the covenant subdues you unto life. Because if you refuse to be subdued to the covenant of life, then you're not clean in your own eyes. Because the individual who's clean in his own eyes is professing that they've been subdued. But they have, notice the clean in his own eyes, that's pride. That's pride. That's why Yahuah said, I wait. Let's keep on going in Proverbs chapter 16. Look at verse 4 though. I'm sorry, I'm in verse 3. It say, commit your works unto Yahuah, and your thoughts shall be established. Now, we've already discussed that. If you commit your actions to Yahuah, your plans, your plots, your devices, and everything you do. Proverbs 16 and 4. You have made all things for himself. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. See, remember when Paul said, what if he made vessels under honor and when some vessels under dishonor? Because he done made everything for himself. So if he want to make somebody, and though hand in hand with the righteous, don't mean that he's not going to. Remember what he said, Yahuah said in Matthew 24? He said there'll be 2 in the city. How many will he take? One. Just one. He going to grab the one that he wants and leave the other one behind for the day of evil. Let's look at this word for pride. Or Yahuah utterly detests. That word for pride is gavah. It's somebody who's high and proud, haughty. You got Mashal, you got bat, and you got hate. And you can proceed. You got Gamal, you got bat, and you got hate. Why did you do that? Okay, but you could have just put that on the counter and somebody else could have ate it. Now you done wasted food. Go depart. Now the key component of course, with Gamal, the first thing that you should think of is pride. Someone who's lifted up by pride, or somebody who walks in pride. But now that when you get to this spot and you get to this hay, that's when it might get a little tricky for you. Somebody who walks in pride will not be in or with the sun. Now, when you get to that hay, will not be with Yahuah. Look, behold, those that walk in pride will not be in with Yahushua. Why? Revelation 21 and 27. Why are you crying? Little pie-face baby. Revelation 21. I'm sorry. You can pick it up at 22. Revelation 21 and 22. And I saw no temple therein for Yahuah Elohim Almighty, and the Lamb of the temple of it. And the city had no need for the sun, neither for the moon to shine in it, for the esteem of Elohim did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there. And they shall bring the esteem and honor of the nations into it, and there shall in no wise enter into it anything that defile, neither whatsoever work abomination or make a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life. Notice what he said, anybody whatsoever that do what? Work abominations. He said everyone that's proud in heart is a detestable thing to you. Yahuah hates the proud. We've read this numerous times. He resists the proud and give grace to the humble. He says he catch the pride and the proud in their own craftiness.
Sit down.
Pride will get you destroyed because pride will not allow you to submit. It will not allow you, and you have more understanding. And what can this person say to me? And when I say person, I ain't even talking about nobody animated in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? What can this man say to me? I'm talking about pride is a dangerous thing. Because you know what comes from pride? Selfishness. That's the next thing that's going to come from pride. You know what comes after pride? Hatred. Because that's what's going to come. Because in your pride, you're not going to be able to love anybody unless they love you according to what you say it is. That also, it will not allow the word to retain in your heart, because you'll be concerned and bandied about things of no consequence. Well, we getting down to the final hour. Niggas better stop playing around. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, at the end of the day, man, don't nothing in this world really make no difference. And you can invest all your energy and time and thoughts into that stuff if you want to, and you're going to find yourself somewhere where you don't want to be. Simple as that. And as we transition to dealing with pride, how he made the evil for himself. Now let us transition to something else. Let us take a look at a particular gentleman. We ain't looked at him in a long time. I ain't gonna be long tonight. I need to. We've been rolling all week. I still got Friday night to do. Saturday afternoon. I need to do all that. I need you to come to Matthew chapter. I need you to come to Matthew chapter 27, pick it up about verse 10, I believe. We're going to look at where pride gets you and how everybody who's proud are abomination to Yahuah, and he don't. Something came to my head real fast. Let me go to Luke chapter. Luke 11 and 37, first and foremost. This goes about being clean in your own eyes again, for Yahuah weighing the Ruach. Luke 11 and 37, as he spake, a certain Pharisee besought him to dine with him, and he went in and sat down to meat. And when the Pharisee saw it, he marveled, and he had not first washed before dinner. And the Lord said unto him, now do you Pharisees make clean the outside of the cup and the platter, but your inward part is full of ravening and wickedness? You fools, did not he which made that which is without make that which is within? Rather give alms of such things as you have, and behold, all things are clean unto you. but destruction unto you, Pharisees, for you tithe mint, ruin all manner of herbs, and pass over judgment and the love of Elohim. These ought you to have done, and to not leave the other undone. Now, we going in a few things, right? You know, they vehemently move him to keep on talking because he go off on them. We're not going to read all that. Come on back over here a little bit. The verse is escaping my head. This is not where this is at. Maybe. Because the word 12 and 13. Say one of the companies said to him, Master, speak to my brother that he divide the inheritance with me. And he said unto him, Man, who made me a judge and divider over you? And he said to him, Take heed and beware of covetousness. For a man's life, that the scribes got mad with Yahuah because they were covetous with the things that they were teaching. And that was their pride. See, when you get caught up in the abundance of things that you possess, you take none of them things with you. You know, I seen Lil Duval say something, man, you know that's the truth based off this situation. Now that everybody can't go nowhere, all the stuff that people been flogging with has no value whatsoever. And now all these niggas who've been capping and posting in their pro different with some of these women. Now you can't go get all this stuff drawn on your face. You ain't got all this stuff to put on your nails. You ain't got them fly-by-night eyelashes. You ain't got that dog hair in your scalp. And now you don't see them no more. Because that's what you would purport yourself to be, was exterior things. That's why you desired them. That's why you lusted after them. That's why you had to have them. Because really on the inside, it's empty. Or full of wickedness and dead men's bones. Ain't nothing there. Ain't nothing there. That's why you needed all the outside stuff to justify you. You needed all the outside stuff for your validation. Look at me, I done made it. Who don't care nothing about what type of car you drive? You don't care nothing about what type of house you stay in or what type of clothes you got on. Because there's going to be people who've been living the worst that's going to get in the kingdom before the people who got all the stuff. You don't care about how many lands you own, how many acres you got. All he cares about is did you believe on me as the scripture have said. And when I say that, mean if you believe on Yahuah, you believe on Yahuah because Yahuah son him. You know what I'm talking about? And did you live a Kadash lifestyle according to the faith which I commanded you to possess? That's what he's looking at. All that other stuff, that man don't care. He don't care about your job title. He don't care about how much money your business made. That man don't care nothing about that. You care about that. You know why you care about that? Luke chapter 16. You know what it is. (16 and 14). And there was the verse that I was referring to right there. So we could back that up a little bit. We pick it up about verse 6. Make it 5. So he called everyone his Lord's debtors unto him and said unto the first, How much you owe unto my Lord? He said 100 measures of oil. And he said unto him, Take your bill, sit down quickly. And he said unto another, How much owe you? And he said 100 measures of wheat. And he said unto him, Take your bill, write for a score. The Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the sons of this world are in their generation wiser than the sons of light. Notice that what he said, that the unjust person has got more sense than somebody who's supposed to be a son of God. Because you're clean in your own eyes, but Yahuah way in your spirit. And that's what you see right here. The just stewards were clean in their own eye, but they were foolish at the same time. Come on. And I say unto you, make to yourselves the friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when you fall, they may receive you in the everlasting habitation. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. And therefore you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches. I look at that there like we're talking about, right? Everybody wants all this material stuff, and you ain't even faithful with that. Why would Yahuah give you riches from heaven? All you got to look at the care that you keep for the things that Yahuah done put under your charge. Do you care for them genuinely, or do you care for your own self-interest? Because if you care for your own self-interest, it's going to lead to your destruction in the latter days. or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Elohim and Mammon. And the Pharisees also, who were covetous, heard all these things, and they derided him, or they ridiculed him. They mocked him. Well, why did they do that? Because of their pride. Their pride would not allow them to humble themselves and listen to what this man had to say and take it and implement it. Their pride would not allow you to walk with or be with the Son. It will not allow you to do it. Why? Because he will resist you. That's what he say he do, right? Why you got that in you? Oh, nasty. Now you got the shoe lip. You have a tennis shoe lip. And he said unto them, you are they which justify yourselves before men, preparing your heart what you gonna say, because you want to justify yourself before men. So Yahuah finds you detestable. But back to Matthew 27. I just needed to share that. Praise the Lord. In the name of Yahushua, I just needed to share that. Matthew chapter 27, right? (27 and 11). And Yahushua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, are you the Malach of the Yahudim? Yahushua said unto him, you say. And when he was accused, hear you not the many things which they witness against you? And he answered him to never a word, insomuch that the governor marveled great. You know, people be amazed. No matter, this man got you locked up. They're accusing you of a crime worthy of death, and you questioning the man, and the man lets you like, so you ain't got nothing to say? Who are you? Let's get that 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21 that I mentioned earlier. Peter chapter 2, verse 21. For even hereunto were you called, because Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that you should follow his step. Didn't he say to follow him? Don't it say that he humbled himself, even unto the stake, even unto death? See, this just go back to what we were discussing last week and what Passover really is about. Not the first one was a foreshadow to, is about humility and the forsaking of pride. That pride being that you're too proud to obey the word that your father has stated, because you don't have righteous lips. So therefore he won't delight in you, because you don't love words that are right. And because you don't love words that are right, you allow disorder to enter into your heart. So therefore he can't. And that's why there's no peace for the wicked. That's why he say fear have torment, because you have disorder, you have confusion, you have dysfunction. There's no peace in dysfunction. How many peaceful, dysfunctional people have you met? Put the word to the side, just on a natural level. How many peaceful, dysfunctional people have you met? Always got something going on. Not so, because see, drama comes in because you create it or you entertain it. You know what I'm saying? Most people who do not come from dysfunctional environments, solid. And they may listen to what you have to say, but if they see that you are continually in a state of drama, in a state of confusion, in a state of chaos, they will separate themselves from you, because they will not allow themselves to be sucked in to your confusion and chaos so that you can take their peace. See, people be like, be my peace. You can't be somebody's peace when you're dysfunctional. That's why that statement's out there. You got dysfunctional people talking about be my peace. Well, baby, you got to learn how to function properly first. Son, you got to learn how to operate in your role as a man first. Then you know what happens when you do that? Then you see this person's dysfunctional and you cut off. You see this nigga is an idiot, you'll leave him alone. See, that's the difference. Because it's just certain things as a man you just don't do. And the third, or a dude going upside their head, or their old lady going through their phone all the time and doing this and doing that, and they think that that's normal. It's shocking to them because it is boring, and they wouldn't know what to do. You know how many women start stuff where they do talking about he boring because he just want to be at peace. I didn't want to come home, eat dinner, kick it with you a little bit. She want to start something so it can be excitement. I need to know he cares. Oh, you stupid. You know what I'm saying? But do you know how many women, I'm talking about not young women either, but rusty old one chicken, ain't nothing on there but some flour. Ain't no salt, ain't no pepper. They ain't put nothing on the potato salad, it's bland. You know what I'm talking about? They think that's what you're supposed to do. Pick fights and argue and go back and forth. You just can't chill. I'm telling y'all, man, real talk though, functional relationships are boring because it's the same thing every day. It's consistency. It's the same, it's monotonous. It's the same thing every day. It's not, you know, you're dealing with something, especially being married, it's not no thing of long-term excitement and sparks and all this be telling you on TV. That's to get your money out of you. You know what I'm saying? Get you to do something to cater to this woman, spend your money. Get this woman to do something to cater to this man, spend your money. When it really is just about service and peace. That's how you determine how successful the marriage is. How functional are the two people involved? Not how many trips you can go on, not how many dates you can go on, not how many gifts you can buy, not none of that. That doesn't determine success. Success is determined in the functionality of the endeavor. If the endeavor is not functional, it's unsuccessful. Because the functional environment is what the children are. Yeah, our relationship good, girl. He take me out every week, and this, that, and the third. In the meantime, when y'all not going out, you at each other's throats. You disrespect one another. It's constant chaos and confusion. That is not successful. The children growing up in that environment. So guess what the little boy gonna do? If he see his mama yelling at his daddy all the time, disrespecting him, he may grow up and be a simp and think that's how a woman's supposed to be. That's a man who is of no equivalency to be able to moderate her, lead her, and direct her. Now she gets enjoined with this man, and now you have that problem. Case in point, I don't know the director, but I seen that little rapper nigga. Did you put that went off on Mayweather? And where did that come from? Dysfunctional husband, dysfunctional father. Will continue. Dysfunction. See, we don't put that at the forefront of that's what's important. Functionality, the ability to function properly in your role. It brings peace. Dysfunction brings chaos, and Yahuah is not present. Because he told you he's not the author of confusion. So he doesn't dwell in that space. Hey. Who, when he was reviled, he reviled not again. And when he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him who judged righteously. That's what he do. That's what he do. That's what you got to do. It can't be no other way. Any other way is going to lead to a lack of success. So this junk is unstable and it ain't stopped. Let me make sure it's still doing what it needs to do. And make sure it ain't stopped on their side. I gotta start it again. And it looked like it has. Well, maybe not. Let's go back to Matthew. Verse 15 of Matthew chapter 27. Now at the feast of the governor, the governor was wont to release unto a people a prisoner whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they gathered together, Pilate said unto them, whom will you that I release unto you, Barabbas or Yahushua, which is called Mashiach? For he knew that for envy they had delivered him. And when because of it, but the chief priests and elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Yahushua. The governor answered and said unto them, whether of the twain will you that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. Pilate said unto them, what shall I do then with Yahushua, which is called Mashiach? They come over here to Mark chapter 15, verse 5. Because we're going to look at all accounts with Barabbas. Make it verse 6. Because it's different descriptive terms for Barabbas in each gospel, and that's why we're going to read all four versus just me mentioning. It said, now at the feast he released unto them one prisoner, whomsoever they desired. And there was one named Barabbas, which lay bound with them that had made insurrection, committed murder and insurrection. Does anybody know what an insurrection is? Who knows what an insurrection is? It is rebellion. Now look how I described him, right? It said that he was a rebel and a murderer. I want you to keep that in mind. It said that he's a rebel and a murderer. This is what they say. And the multitude crying aloud began to desire him to do as he had ever done unto them. But Pilate answered them, saying, will I yet release unto you the Malach of the Yahuah? For he knew that the chief priests had delivered him for envy. But the chief priests moved the people that they should rather release Barabbas the Yahuah. And they cried out again, crucify him. Then Pilate said unto them, why? What evil have he done? And they cried out the more exceedingly, crucify him. And so Pilate, willing to content the people, released Barabbas unto them and delivered Yahushua, and he scourged him to be crucified. Now let's come over here to the book of Luke. Luke 23, probably about verse 14. Make it at Luke 23 and 7, 23 and 6. And when Pilate heard of Galilee, he asked whether the men were Galileans. As soon as he knew that he belonged to Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who himself was at Jerusalem at that time. When Herod saw Yahushua, he was exceedingly glad, for he was desirous to see him of a long season, because he had heard many things of him and hoped to see some miracle done by him. Then he questioned with him in many words, but he answered him nothing. The chief priests and scribes stood and vehemently accused him. Herod with his men of war sat him at naught and mocked him, and arrayed him with a gorgeous robe and sent him again to Pilate. The same day Pilate and Herod were made friends together, for before they were enmity between themselves. Now look at what happened. The hatred for a righteous man made two men who had hatred with one another come together. What does that sound like in regards to the book of Revelation? Anybody got any idea? It's okay. Revelation chapter 11. Revelation 11 and 7. Would you say something? They didn't like them two witnesses. Everybody had enmity and hatred with one another. Because remember, he said what would be going on in the world? Be wars, right? Rumors of wars. He also said he'll drop a plague, take peace from the earth, make man fight against. Ain't that what he said? Look at Revelation 11, right? Pick it up at verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war with them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. And the people of the kindreds, and they of the people of the kindreds, tongues, and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts to one another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. So in the midst of all these people having enmity and hatred with one another, their hatred for these righteous men caused them to come together and say, let's be friends. That's how much people hate Yahuah. That's the only reason why I focus on that. Come on back to Luke chapter 23. Luke 23 and 9. I'm sorry, not 9, but 13. And Pilate, when he had called together the chief priests and the rulers of the people, said unto them, you have brought this man unto me as one that pervert the people. What does it mean to pervert? To corrupt, to ruin. Remember, it said that there's nothing foul or perverse in his words. That's what Proverbs 8 told us that we looked at earlier this week. He said, I have examined him before you, and I found no fault in this man touching those things whereof you accuse him. Now, if he examined it, that means he tried it. Ain't no fault there. Guess what that is? Yahuah weighing the spirit. But he weighed the spirit through Pilate and let Pilate give physical testimony that Yahushua was righteous. But let's continue. Nor yet Herod, for I sent you to him, and lo, nothing worthy of death is done unto him. So look what it said. Not one witness. How many witnesses did it have to bear witness that Yahushua was righteous? 2. And guess what Yahuah did to make it even sweeter? Had 2 Gentiles who was outside of Torah determined that this man was just. So that's condemnation to everybody who's standing out there. Because he didn't take 2 Jews to condemn him. He let 2 Gentiles condemn you. 2 Romans. 2 Romans say, I examine this man. There ain't no sin in this man. 2 niggas lying. Now let's look and see what's going on. Let's continue. He said, I will therefore chastise him and release him. For of a necessity, he must release one unto them at the feast. And they cried out all at once, saying, away with this man. Release unto us Barabbas, who, for a certain sedation made in the city for murder, was cast into prison. Pilate, therefore, willing to release Yahushua, spake again to them, but they cried, saying, crucify him, crucify him. He said unto the 3rd time, but why? What evil have he done? I found no cause of death in him. I will therefore chastise him and let him go. And they were at an instant with loud voices requiring that he might be crucified, and the voices of them and of the chief priests prevailed. And Pilate gave sentence that it should be as they required, and released unto them him that for sedation and murder was cast into prison, whom they desired, and he would deliver Yahushua to their will. Now let's take the last look, and let's go to John chapter 18. Go to John chapter 18, pick it up at verse 28. Then they led Yahushua from captives unto the hall of judgment, and it was early, and they themselves went into the judgment hall, but they that may eat the Passover. Pilate then went out unto them and said, what accusation bring you against this man? They answered and said unto him, if he were not a malefactor, we have not delivered him up unto you. Then said Pilate unto them, take you him and judge him according to your Torah. The Yahudim therefore said unto him, it is not lawful for us to put any man to death. To them, are you the Malik of the Yahudim? Yahushua answered him, say you this thing of yourself? Or did others tell it of you? Tell you of me. Pilate answered, am I Yahudi? Your own nation and chief priests have delivered you unto me. What have you done? My king, Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Yahudim. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate therefore said unto him, are you a Malik then? Yahushua answered, you say that I'm a Malik. To this end was I born, and for this cause I came into the world. And listen to what he said, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth, hear my voice. What did we look at in Daniel chapter 8 the other day? It said truth would be cast where? To the ground. And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Yahudim and said unto him, I find no fault in him at all. Based on those words, could you? If a man you got condemned to death tell you something like that, would you be able to say, oh yeah, he did it? No, ain't nothing wrong with Cuz. Cuz could have did nothing wrong. Because ain't nobody that bold to talk to me like that. And remember what he said? I got power to release you and power to crucify you. And he told him, you ain't got no power against me at all, except he would give you to heaven. You're running your mouth. He said, he that delivered you, me unto you, he got the greater sin. He said, Pilate, you just doing what you supposed to do. You got a sin, but your sin ain't greater than them niggas who brought it. And cried they all again, saying, not this man, but Barabbas. Now Barabbas was a robber. Now look at what they described Barabbas as. What have they described Barabbas as? A murderer, a robber, and a rebel. Anybody in here know what Barabbas' name means? Yeah, it's all good. You know what it means? What are the two words, Hebrew words, that you could see in his name? So if you got bot in his name, what that mean? And what's the other part in his name? What Hebrew word that you can hear in his name? You got the bot, so you got the son. So what's the other? Not characters. I'm talking about what Hebrew word can you hear in his name? Huh? Not rabbi. His name is Barabbas. Look at how it's spelled. Barabbas. So you got Abba. So you got son of a father. Well, let's look and see who his father is, because it just said he was what? A rebel, a murderer, and a robber. Come over here to John 8:44. So it means son of a master, son of a father. That's what it means. Make it 8:42. Now keep in mind, that's who the Yahudim asked for. John 8:42. Yahushua said to them, if Elohim were your Abba, you would love me, for I proceed forth and came from Elohim. Neither came out of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. You are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. So Yahushua just told you what? Two things: that the devil is a murderer and a rebel. I'm going to look at somebody else for rebellion in a moment. Hold on. When he speak a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. I want you to come over here to Jeremiah 26 again before I ask y'all a question. Booger boy. Hey, what's up, booger boy? Booger boy. Booger boy. It's Jeremiah 28. Excuse me. Little booger boy. Now, it's 28 and 14 that I'm going to pick it up at. Now, who knows Hananiah's story? Because we're not going to read the whole thing. Who know what Hananiah went up there and said? Who in here knows what Hananiah went up there and said? He did lie. Booger boy. Bye. Well, Hananiah went up there and he told the people that they would only be in Babylon for 2 years. How long did Yahuah say that they would be in Babylon? So he went up there. So let's look at what it say. Matter of fact, let me just read what Hananiah said for those who may not know. Jeremiah 28:1. And it came to pass the same year, in the beginning of the reign of Zechariah, Malachah, Yehudah, in the 4th year, in the 5th month, Hananiah, the son of Azor, the prophet, which was of Gibeon, spake unto me in the house of Yahuah, in the presence of the priests and all the people, saying, thus saith Yahuah of hosts, Elohim of Yasharal, saying, I have broken the yoke of the king of Babylon. Within 2 full years, I will bring again into this place all the vessels of Yahuah's house that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, took away from this place and carried them to Babylon. And I will bring again to this place yet Yekonah, the son of Jehoiakim, the Malachah Yehudah, with all the captains of Yehudah that went into Babylon, saith Yahuah, for I will break the yoke of the king of Babylon. Then the prophet Jeremiah said unto the prophet Hananiah, in the presence of the priests and the presence of all the people that stood in the house of Yahuah, even the prophet Jeremiah said, Amen. Yahuah do so, and Yahuah perform your words, which you have prophesied, to bring again the vessels of Yahuah's house and all that's carried away captive from Babylon into this place. Nevertheless, hear you now this word that I speak in your ears, in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me and before of old prophesied against many countries, great kingdoms of war, of evil and pestilence. The prophet which prophesied shalom, when the word of that prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that Yahuah have truly sent it. See, the thing that you have to look at is, when does Yahuah prophesy peace? When the people out of pocket? Never. Don't happen. You know, the only prophecy of peace that Yahuah has given unto men is the returning of Yahushua HaMashiach. That's the only prophecy of peace he done ever gave. That's the only prophecy. Have you all ever thought about that? Have you noticed that? Every prophecy of peace pertains to the coming of the Lord. He ain't talking about no peace before the coming of the Lord. Key point, that's why you shouldn't fall for that when the peace comes talking peace, right or wrong. Because he said he coming with peace, right? And with peace, he gonna flatter many and deceive many. But what did he say? He said, if the peace come to pass, then you're gonna know Yahuah spoke the word. Yahuah ain't never prophesied of no peace before the Lord come back, has it? I ain't called it. You read it? Who done read it? Because I ain't never read it. Point me in the right direction. Let's continue. Then Hananiah the prophet took the yoke from off the prophet Jeremiah's neck and brake it. Hananiah spake in the presence of the people, saying, thus saith Yahuah, even so I will break the yoke of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, from the neck of all nations within the space of 2 full years. And the prophet Jeremiah went his way. That nigga went further with it. He ain't just tell the lie. After Jeremiah say, well, shoot, my nigga, let Yahuah do what you say what you said. But just know this right here. Well, let me take that yoke off your neck and break it. Let me cap it up some more. Then the word of Yahuah came unto Jeremiah the prophet, after Hananiah the prophet had broken the yoke off the neck of the prophet Jeremiah, saying, go and tell Hananiah, saying, thus saith Yahuah, you have broken the yokes of wood, but you shall make them for yokes of iron. But thus saith Yahuah of hosts, Elohim of Yasharal, I put a yoke of iron upon the neck of all these nations, that they may serve Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and they shall serve it. I have given him the beasts of the field also. Then said the prophet Jeremiah unto Hananiah the prophet, hear now, Hananiah, Yahuah have not sent you, but you make this people to trust in a lie. Therefore, thus saith Yahuah, behold, I will cast you from off the face of the earth. This year you shall die, because you have taught rebellion against Yahuah. Now let's look at this word for rebellion here. Yes, little baby. The word for rebellion here is sarah. It means apostasy. Y'all know what an apostasy is? That's the turn away from the word, to be an apostate. You reject the word of Elohim. It means a defection, a turning aside, a withdrawal. The characters you have here are Samak, Rosh, and Hay. Go see. Samak, Rosh, and Hay. It also means a continual rebellion. What did we see with the people with Barabbas? What did they do? They continually rebelled when there was an option for them to do what was right, did they not? Is that not what they did? Samak, Rosh, and Hay, if you would. Let me get you the English definition for apostasy. Hey, get off them blinds. The definition of apostasy is the abandonment or renunciation of a religious or political belief. So apostasy basically is the great falling away. Nothing, man. Hard. Now he just mentioned that, right? So you got to turn, and that's what you would say is to turn. You know what I'm saying? So what has ended up happening is that the beast is that sinners will seek to turn your thoughts away from Yahushua. That's what that rebellion is going to do. But how did Hananiah bring the rebellion? With a false prophecy, with lying words, with lying words. That's why he said, take heed that no man deceive you. Now, Barabbas means son of a master. Does anybody know what law them people broke by asking for Barabbas? Does anyone remember that, I should say? Anybody on the stream, do y'all know what law was violated for them asking for Barabbas? Oh, no. Barabbas wasn't over. It's been a long time since we looked at this. I want to see if somebody on the stream answered this before somebody answered it in person. What law did they violate? Anybody remember what law they violated? I know you remember. I'm talking about this here. Somebody, I already know you remember. Any of y'all remember what law they violated? Anybody on the stream know what law they violated by asking for Satan? Because when they ask for Barabbas, they ask for the devil. Because what does it say? He that commits sin is of the devil. This man is a murderer, a rebel, and a thief. And this is what they asked for. Go ahead and tell them, Blue Stanley. Numbers 35 and 31. Let me get there, man, because I'm trying to do something else on top of that. Numbers 35 and 31. Make it Numbers 35 and 29. Numbers 35 and 29. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you. Do I stop playing with that cord before I pop you upside your forehead? So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations in your dwelling. Notice what he said, right? That this is a statute of what? Judgment. Say your tongue, your mouth should not transgress in judgment. Wow. I just want to tell you the word for statute. It's an ordinance. It's something prescribed. It's cot, coof, and hay. Let the last Adam separate you, because that's what these ordinances do. Let's continue. Whoso kill any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person that calls him to die. So what should have happened to Barabbas? He should have been put to death. What's going to happen to Satan? And why is he going to get put to death? Because he is a murderer. And what does the book tell you? That a murderer does not have everlasting life abiding in them. He is a murderer. Listen what he says after that. Moreover, you shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall surely be put to death. Now I want you to look at no satisfaction. That word is kafar. Listen what it says. That's a price of a life or a ransom or a bribe. You shall not take a price of a life or a ransom of a bribe of a murderer. Is that not what they did in the Gospels? Did they not take a bribe? Now these men who's supposed to know the law. Now let's look at these characters. You got Kaf, Pay, and Raj. Proceed. So according to the law, what should have happened to Barabbas? He should have been put to death. They should have said, oh, we got to let Yahushua go. Because we can't take it. Because at the end of the day, what was the chief priest trying to get this bribe of people with? They bribed him with a murderer. So you know who they really bribed him with? They bribed him with Satan. Because the attributes that Barabbas is described of having is the attributes of his father. Now when we turn around and we're going to get ready to look at the beast, we already know the beast's a murderer. We already know the beast's a liar. And we already know the beast is a robber. And he's a rebel. So you know what, when we look at Barabbas and Yahushua's interaction, if you would, it shows you how people will call for the wicked over the righteous, or that they will desire Satan over Yahuah. Or they're going to desire the beast over the gospel, because that's what's going to happen. Ain't that's what we've been talking about all week? What y'all got that Kaf, Pay, and Raj? Bird, I need you to ease up for a minute, Bird. Speak the words of the highest. Say that again. I said, speak the words of the highest. To speak the words of the highest. You look at that, because that's supposed to be the ransom. You can sit back and look and see that Yahushua was subdued by the words of the highest, because that's why they asked for the price or the life or a ransom or a bribe of what the name is of Barabbas. But ain't that sad though? I go to show you that the hatred that an individual has for the righteous has nothing to do with what their quote unquote knowledge or what that law and what that word say. I want you to come over here to John chapter 10, if you will. Well, let me finish this chapter out. You shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled into the city of refuge, that he should come again and dwell in the land until the death of the priest. So you shall not pollute the land wherein you are, for the blood, it defile the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed, but by the blood of him that shed it. So Yahushua can't cleanse. Why you think you see him shedding all that blood when we read Ezekiel 39? Why you think he's shedding all that blood upon his return? Because you done defiled the land with blood. So he got to shed the blood of the person who shed it. That's the only way it can be clean. See, that's the law. See, everything the man do, that's the law. And he gonna do it. See, a lot of people recite the law, but they don't see him doing the law and why he doing it, and that's why they gonna perish and be deceived. Let's continue. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I Yahuah dwell among the sons of Yashua. Let me get this straight with you now. Let me get this straight with you now. He can't, America ain't defiled because blood been shed here. He said his land. Not any land, his land. America don't count. America don't count. Now he said he gonna shed the blood of the people in Babylon because they shared the blood of his prophets and his saints and his people there. So that's atonement. That's vengeance. But they gonna shed a lot of blood in Jerusalem. That man gonna shed a lot of blood in Jerusalem. That man said the only way I can cleanse it, I gotta kill you. And since remember, if you commit sin, your blood is upon you. And since that blood on you, he say, don't worry about it. I drop it off on your head. It's nothing. That's what he said. I got to purge it by fire and with burning with blood. I got to slay you. I got to slay you. John chapter 10. That's why everybody wailing because of it. That's why he coming with that sword. That's why he treading the winepress of the fierceness of the Almighty Elohim. I got to have you. That's what he said. John chapter 10, right? You can pick it up at verse 1. I don't know what to do. Nothing's going to happen. John 10 and 1. Truly, truly, I say unto you, he that enter not by the door into the sheepfold, but climb up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. He that enter in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter opened, and the sheep hear his voice, and they call his own sheep by name and lead them out. And when he put forth his own sheep, he go before them, and his sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger they will not follow, but flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers. That's what you're going to do with thieves. You're not going to follow his voice. You don't know it. I don't know that word. I'm not following you. He said, this parable spake Yahushua unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake unto them. Then said Yahushua unto them again, truly, truly, I say unto you, I'm the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved and shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief come not but for to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I come that they might have life and that they might have it in more abundance. So what is the thief coming to do? To steal, kill, and destroy. What did Barabbas come do? He stole, and he killed, and he destroyed. What is the beast coming to do? To steal, to kill, and to destroy. Because what did we read in Revelation 13? Who is able to make war with the beast? Who is like unto him? What does the book say? Who would follow him? Everybody whose name is not written in the Lamb's book of life. And why are they following after him? Because they're proud. And because the lust of their father they will do, they take the life. What did it say in Revelation 8? They wouldn't repent of their murders, or their thefts, or their rebellion. They wouldn't repent of it. So when you look at when they asked for Barabbas, they had a chance to ask for the son of Elohim or the son of the devil, and they chose the devil. So don't be shocked. Don't be shocked when you see the beast come back up and you got an opportunity to pick Barabbas again or Yahusha, and you see the people pick Barabbas. You know what I'm saying? I've been telling y'all for years. If Yahusha was living right now, they'll do it again and say, we want Barabbas, and ask for the murderer. When the book says you're never supposed to use a murderer for a ransom, a price of a life, you're supposed to let the murderer die. Because the law says whosoever sheds man blood, by man his blood must be shed. So a murderer must die. But see, the beast is a thief and a robber, because he's trying to get you to climb up some other way. Because he's trying to get you to join into a covenant with him. But remember, he's a stranger. You can't follow his voice. That's not your shepherd. But you ain't gonna know the voice of your shepherd until you humble yourself unto his word. We will close in James chapter 1, verse 21. That's what they call him. Old. They call Yahushua old-fashioned and outdated. But what did Jeremiah tell you? Seek the ancient path, and you'll find rest to your soul, and walk therein. And they said, we will not walk therein. James, 1:19. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath. For the wrath of man work not the righteousness of Elohim. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your souls. But be you doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. See how they say they clean in their own eye, but Yahuah way to ruach, because you're hearing the word, but you're not doing it, so you're lying to yourself. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he behold himself and go his way, and straightway forget what manner of man he was. But whoso look into the perfect Torah of freedom, continuing therein, and he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the word, this man shall be blessed in his deed. And remember, faith without works is dead, but faith comes by hearing, and hearing comes by the word, and the just live by their faith. So when you hear the word and you walk in the word, you can be able to tell the difference between your husband and somebody else. What type of woman would listen to another man other than her husband? That's just asinine. You know what I'm saying? You got a husband. His name is Yahushua HaMashiach. And that also takes you to the point of what we talked about earlier this week, about if somebody come preaching you another Yahushua. Because he coming to preach another gospel. And you might not want to fool with it. But praise be to the living Elohim, Yahuah, post in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. I appreciate everybody's time and bless y'all out the house of Yahuah. We bless Yahuah again in the name of Yahushua for the feast, for the food that was provided, for everybody who labored to make it, prepare every meal. We bless y'all out the house of Yahuah in the name of Yahushua. I appreciate y'all for coming through every single evening. Yahuah with us, Friday, regular time, back on regular scheduled program. But I appreciate everybody again. Consider, weigh, focus, and understand. Shalom, shalom. Understand this here, right? I want you to understand this here before we log up off of here. This man is a murderer, a liar, a thief, and a rebel. All the attributes you've seen in Barabbas are the attributes of his father, the devil. The father of the beast or the man of sin or the son of perdition is the devil, because it's the perdition means destruction, son of destruction. Satan comes to what? To steal, kill, and destroy. You need to know the testimony of your maker so you can hear his voice, so you are not deceived, because the time is going to come, you're going to have to pick a side. You already got to pick a side, but you're going to be forced to pick a side. You're going to be forced to pick a side. And if your righteous lips, then Yahuah will delight in you, because you love words that are right. And because you love those words that are right, it will push the chaos and confusion out of your heart. You will no longer be dysfunctional and disorderly, and you will stand on the word even under death. The time is drawing nearer and nearer. Let your heart be assured. Let your feet be built upon that rock and stand firmly on the word of Yahuah in the name of Yahushua unto the death. But you were willing to the Shabbat. I say good day.